Okay, hello, hello. It looks like I don't have an internal microphone, so I can't play my theme song. Yeah. So let's see who we have in the chat. Hold on. Yeah, I've got to reload the software I'm using for these live streams, or check my settings or something. Let's see. All right, JF Baird is here. Mr. Jim. Hey, Mr. Jim. Yeah, I felt bad because you were a little bit late on your last bid in the auction. Yeah, I could tell you really wanted that item. Jorge Valadez is here. Sam Folks. Alan is here. TJ is here. Flakesguard is here. Let's see, we got some new guys. Frodo Joe Bushy's here. Mr. Jim said he cried. I'm sorry about that. Last minute biddings. Let's see here. My Flintknapping journey. Hello, hello. Tommy Taylor. Hey, hey. Okay, so we're going to go without the theme song for a while until I can figure out how to play that. I don't like to play it from this phone because it sounds really bad. Right? Let's see if I got good audio. I don't like to play it from this phone because it's... Yep, we got audio. Okay, so everything's good. I'm just going to go until whenever. The new live stream schedule is 9:30 p.m. Eastern time until whenever. I'm going to try to finish a point and half it on every live stream. And then we're going to do this every day during the week, Monday through Friday. Okay? All right. Don't forget to hit the like, right? Let's see if it works. If you double tap. Yeah, if you double tap the screen, it'll like it. Okay, so I noticed we have some decline in the number of viewers, but that's okay. Yeah, I've looked into how to increase the number of viewers, and all of the suggestions are bad because it doesn't really cater to serious hardcore nappers. Yeah. It just caters to everybody else who doesn't do napping. And that's no fun. I mean, we can have occasional drifters and doom scrollers. That's fine. But trying to cater to everybody, you end up not pleasing the most important people. Right? Right. Okay, so we have some more Amoeba Church. Hey, Marty's here. Dockenstein is here. Who else did I miss? Yeah, cool. Alrighty. So this time I'm going to use modern tools. I'm only going to use natural tools on Fridays. Yeah, Natural Tool Friday. That's it. And I keep saying I'm going to make a new set of natural tools, and that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how long it takes me. I still haven't finished unpacking because I've been trying to sleep off this cold or whatever I got. Let's say 7.5 inches long for this piece. Should I weigh it so we know how much is left afterwards? The scientists say that most of the time these things, they reduce down to like 5% of the original weight of the stone. Yeah, on average. That's the scientific analysis on these. Of course, you can use other flakes that come off of this. Right? But it's usually the finished piece, when it's a rock to point, is 5% of the original rock. That's not much. Oh, this is nice. Hey, I got a super chat already? Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Jorge Valadez, 1999. Here's to daily lives. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you. That's very generous. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Wow. Let me hit I can't hit the like on this one, on this screen. I got to hit the like button on the other screen. Come on. Oh, there we are. Yay. I will heart and like it. Thank you, thank you. What else we got? Yeah, we got the whole gang is here just about. Awesome. All right. Let me see. I'm going to try to be careful with this because this is rare. This is a rare treat to have amoeba chert. Yeah. I did pay for it, so it's cost me a little bit of money. But I like paying for rare treats. Yeah. I'll pay for a rare treat every now and then. Yeah. Let's see. It's so quiet though. But I like this arrangement at night because it's not hot in here and my camera will not overheat. It will not overheat. At night. That's one of the best things from doing these live streams late at night. Another thing is, sometimes I find myself doom scrolling at this hour before I go to bed. So instead of doom scrolling, yeah, the live streams would be more productive. Right? Right. If you have questions, if you're new, I will try to answer them, but I might not get to them right away. And I'll be doing Flintknapping and trying to answer questions at the same time, which means I cannot do either one very well. Once in a while, you'll see me checking the chat. And you'll see the inception effect on the phone that proves infinity. Yeah? It doesn't actually prove infinity. I'm just trying to be funny. Anyways, this live stream usually goes for 2 hours if you've never been here before. So get ready. Yeah. And get ready for me to drop it multiple times because I'm looking through the viewfinder in the phone sometimes too, to make sure I'm in frame, not over here napping away and talking and not paying attention. Okay? That's usually when I drop the workpiece. When I'm trying to look through the viewfinder in the phone, whatever they call it. Viewing screen. Ooh, that was sweet. But there's something weird about this. Yeah, I hit it once and it caused an incipient. That's just weird. Some of this stuff can be weird. Yeah. Amoeba chert naps very nicely when it wants to. When it doesn't want to, it's one of those nightmare types of stone. Yeah, because you think it's going to do well and it doesn't. Just like in a dream, you think you're going to be running away from the scary monster and your legs don't work. Yeah, that's what this is, like a nightmare sometimes. You think it's going to work and it doesn't. That's the nightmare for flint nappers. This is kind of sticky. These flakes are kind of sticky. I'm not sure if there's existing cracks in it or what that's making this sticky. Can you see what I'm doing as far as technique or no? You just think I'm doing this at random? Well, if you think I'm doing it at random, you are correct, my friend. Yeah. I'm opportunistic and very random. What was I going to do? I was going to show something. Oh, I need to show how to post on the community. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see what are we going to do here. Okay, so you go to the Jack Crafty Flintknapping channel and it'll say community. You hit the community button and then you can hit the create a post. Get rid of that one. Create a post. So first you go to the community section and then you create a post. And this is where you see pictures in your phone library, or you can invent a picture, right? That's so that you can tell AI to generate something. Now down below it, there is a mountain and a sun, whatever that is. You can click that and get into your photos. All right, so let's see. I'm going to click that and see if I get into my photos. Well, that doesn't do anything. It just picks up those. Create an image. I don't want to create an image. I want to just upload an image from my phone. How about this one? Does this one work? Let's see. No. Anyways, you should be able to go somewheres. This, I know why, because this particular phone only has 3 images in the storage. Okay, so that's what you do. And then you pick one of these. Right? And it says next. You click next. And then if you're done, you can hit done. And it'll post it. And you'll be all happy. Now you can also write a little message. So did you get that? Do it over again. You go to my channel and then you hit community button and then create post. And then you press whatever button here you want. Okay? This little mountain and sun gets you to your phone storage, or it brings up some, the latest pictures here, or you can have AI create something. And then what's on your mind, you can type it in. And when you're done, it says post. You press the post button. Okay? Someone wanted me to explain that. So that's what you do. And if it's not clear, I'll make a short video of it. Yeah, I'll upload it to my shorts. Yes, I like this. I like it. Look how amazingly strong this particular type of flint or chert is, that it can create a flake like that. The long extension on there. That means it's flexible enough to not snap when it makes a flake like that. Yeah. So this is what that long patternalis point was made from. One of these amoeba chert nodules. I've got several of these. Yeah, it cost me several dollars. Oh yes. I was not able to buy as much rocks, or as many rocks as I wanted because of gas prices, right? Yeah, it cost me 50% more than last year. I went in the fall last year. I'm going to go probably in the fall again. Yeah. But I'll make the official announcement when I know for sure. All right? All right. I'm talking about going to the Brady Knapping in Texas. And maybe some other Knappings. We'll see. I was exhausted. These trips are not vacations for me. They're exhausting. I don't like traveling. Yeah. And I don't like feeling disoriented. I feel disoriented when I'm not home. It takes me a while to get used to the new surroundings. Feels like I'm in a dream, right? Like I'm not waking up or anything. If I go on a trip, it feels like I'm in a dream. Yeah. My family did not understand that. I didn't tell them, but they would see me. Dad, what's the matter? I don't know. It's okay. I don't like trips. But yeah, I was feeling like it was just not real. Like I can't wake up. So trips are not vacations for me. Vacations for me are when I don't do anything. That's my vacation. I just sit home and do nothing. Literally do nothing. Except prepare meals, take showers, go for walks, watch the animals. That's it. That's my vacation. I don't talk to people. I don't invite people over. I don't go to people's houses. When I take a vacation, I don't do anything. And I just saw a video on that too. Well, it came up in my feed. Why do guys just sit in their garages and do nothing? That kind of thing. So I know the answer to that. I don't need to watch a video for that. Hey, Bobby Estes is here. Mr. Jim says, I turned a piece like this into gravel last week. It was almost dark purple with no white spots. Oh, dang. Yeah. Wait till you've got several hundred more pounds of rock under your belt before you tackle these nice amoebas. So you can do this kind of stuff. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Thinks I'm lucky. Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah. That was not something that I'm going to let you get all the time. No. Yeah, I know. But I can gloat when I get them. Oh, yes. Oh, dang. These flakes are flying. They're breaking the sound barrier. Let's see. No, it's still not going to do it. See, this is where it gets nightmarish because you think it's going to do it. It's so nice. That last flake was so nice. You think it's going to cooperate and it doesn't do it. On the next one. So yeah, I must have got lucky. I gotta get through this cortex. Yeah, that's good. If you can only just do that, but not too much. I kind of scooped that a lot, so gotta watch it. It wants me to hit hard, but it doesn't behave. Yeah, it's gotta behave like that. See, that was okay. That took off a little bit more than I thought, but more than I thought it would, but it's okay because it didn't snap in half. Yeah. What do we got here? Knapping some Fort Payne as we speak. No, this is not Fort Payne. This is Amoeba Chert. Or you are. Okay, never mind. All right. Yeah. 4K is napping some Fort Payne. That's some good stuff to nap. The good quality Fort Payne is excellent. Yeah. I like it. If you have good quality Fort Payne shirt. If you don't, then yeah, it's painful. It lives up to its name. If it's not good quality. Is that good? Yes. It's a little bit too good. A little bit too far. Not supposed to scoop out that much. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little bit too good. Yeah, like that. It's a little bit too good. It takes off a little bit too much. It's a little bit unpredictable. But I try to thin the ends down first, unless there's a big old lump in the middle that I don't mind attacking because it's just a huge lump. It doesn't matter if I take a few flakes off, it's still going to be thick in the middle. I like to thin the ends down first. Hey, Bobby, SD's $1.99 super chat. Let's see. Any comment attached? Let's go back to the live stream. Where's my live stream? Where is it? There. It's right there. It's right there. Yeah? Yeah. Who's trying to nap in bed? Dockenstein says, do not nap in bed. Shorty Z. Hello, hello. Did you try out the KRF one-eyed dog? If you haven't tried it, try it. Yeah. Don't make Marty wait forever. Okay, so Bobby SD's $1.99 super chat. No comment attached. That's okay. Is Blunt Axe in the house? Dockenstein is here. One-eyed dog is here. Lucky I want to go to Flint Ridge. Oh, I need to announce the next nap-ins coming up. I'm going to do a video on the next nap-ins coming up. There's several in May. Yeah. I updated my nap-in list yesterday, so for May. So I'm going to announce that in a short video, I suppose. Either tomorrow. Well, I was going to say either tonight or tomorrow, but it's late already. So probably tomorrow. Getting ready for Flint Ridge. Bobby Estes is here. Let's see. If there's any questions, I try to answer them. You could auction off a Rock 2 Point at the end of the live stream, and it would be like having another entire auction for the week. Said Mr. Jim. Yeah. John Boy says hello, hello. Yeah, I could do that. I suppose. It just gets me nervous. I might not be able to complete the Rock 2 Point. Let's see. The fun starts now, says Sam. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's get back to this. This is Texas Amoeba Chert. Okay? I'll probably have to say that a million times during the live stream. No. I'm not going to. Somebody will remind us, or remind the new guys what's going on. Yeah. Somebody will remind. I don't have any doubts. If you want to answer questions, you guys in the chat, go ahead and answer questions. If I have a different opinion, I'll let you know. Yeah. If I see the answers and stuff. Sometimes I miss things in the chat because I'm trying to flint nap, okay? It's not my fault. You guys want me to do both. That means I can't do either one very well. I can't respond to the chat and nap very well. Had to do these things on the fly and kind of just winging it. Is it going to be good? Ah, yeah, it's good. What is Amoeba Chert comparable to? That should be the question. It's comparable to that stuff that you dream about in dreams that you never can get a hold of. Yeah, because you keep forgetting where it is. In a dream you'll see it and then you'll try to come back to it because you grab a bucket in your dream and you come back. Where is it? Where'd it go? I don't see it no more. Yeah. That's the way it goes. That's what this compares to. Yeah. It's good stuff. Yes, it's good stuff. But it can be finicky. It can have crunchy areas and differences in consistencies. Oh yes. All right. So all the cortex is gone. It's been preliminarily made into a biface. Next stage is different mindset. Okay. So let's clear up before we get into the different mindset. The next stage. What is a different mindset? It's the way I say it's a different kind of skill on the next stage. I mean, all of Flintknapping is related, right? It's all related, but there's differences. There's subtle differences, and the subtle differences in Flintknapping make all the difference. Okay? So, this next stage requires different skills. Okay? Because now, we're not concerned mainly with just cleaning it up and making it roughly into it biface. Now we're concerned about shaping and thinning. I usually just default to a blade, right? Do I have a blade? I have some. These are more refined. This one's more refined than this one. So I don't call this a blade yet until I start to make the edges nice and straight. So I need to get this into this stage. It's different. It's a different skill set than what I just did to clean this up. All right, so I have to be a little more careful. I'm usually more picky on what bopper I'm going to use. I had a question on what bopper am I supposed to be using, or what is the proper bopper? What is the proper bopper? The proper bopper is the one that feels the best. I was just using this heaviest one, which is like 14 ounces. I'm going to go down to this one and see if this feels right. If it's taking off way too much, or if it's smashing everything to pieces, then I drop down to another size. It's experimentation. I don't go, all right, let's see. This is like, I don't know, 18.7 ounces or whatever. So I'm going to match it up. Let's got to divide it by, you know, a factor of 1.6, and then I'll get the bopper weight. No, I don't do all that kind of stuff. There's no set rules. Okay? You don't divide the workpiece by 1.6 to find the bopper weight. Okay? All right. If you want to, you can go ahead and do it. It's good. You go by feel in many of these cases because it's instinctive. Just like instinctive archery shooting. If you're into archery shooting, like most of you guys are, there's something called instinctive shooting. There's no numbers. There's no formulas. You just shoot and shoot and shoot until you get better. Same with Flintknapping. Your accuracy improves, okay? The more you do, the more accurate you become. Oh, look at that. Again, it did that little sweet flake extension, showing that it's got some awesome flexibility in this material. Technically, I'm supposed to be able to get long, nice flakes when that kind of stuff happens. Because it loves them ridges. And whenever something loves them ridges, you can usually get long flakes that go along the ridges. But with this stuff, I bet you it's not going to do it every time. I bet you. It's a tease. Yeah. So does bopper feel good? Gotta wait. Don't be so impatient. You know, slow down. I don't know if it feels quite right. I mean, that was a good flake, but you know, I might have to go down a size if it's starting to smash everything up or whatever. I might just go down a size just to see. This may be working fine, but you never know. A smaller size might work better. How do I know what's working good and what's not? By the results. If my accuracy is good, I stick with what I got. See, and you get into that sweet zone. Just like archery, once you get to that sweet zone where you're being accurate on instinctive shooting, you just stay in that zone. You don't start switching out arrows and stuff when you're in the zone and you're shooting right instinctively. Same with napping. You don't just switch boppers at random. Unless you're insistent on experimenting, then fine. If you're in the mode to experiment, yeah, switch them around just to see. Just like archery, you can switch around, use different arrows or different bows with different pull weights just to see how it's working. If you get bored, especially, all right, if you're just target practicing all day, that kind of thing. Okay, I can see where this is going. I still don't know if this bopper is good. It feels good, but we'll see. I just smashed it, but that could be just the inconsistency of that area. There's other indications that the bopper's not working other than smashing. The flakes might not be long like you want. Even though you're being accurate, the flakes might not be longish. I mean, all kinds of different things. So there's no easy answer to the question of what bopper should you be using.
I don't want to know what bopper you use. I just want to copy. I don't want to know a formula or techniques or nothing. Just tell me what it is I'll copy.
Yeah, a lot of guys are like that. They just want to copy what I'm doing. Yeah. Which is fine, but it doesn't always work for you. And that time that it doesn't work for you, you end up making gravel and you get upset. Because you didn't experiment, you just copied. You could have experimented and maybe get better results. Yeah. Like I said, this is a different skill set than when I was using before, because I'm a little bit more careful, both in terms of how I abrade and what I abrade, the force I'm using and the bopper I'm using. The angles are always different, so I cannot give you specifics on the angles. Just gotta watch me the way I do it. Why do I do it this way? This gives me a little more accuracy on the tip. Sometimes I'm like this. Sometimes I'm like this. All right, sometimes I'll do that. This, in general, this particular setup, when I do like this, is for shorter flakes. Because my finger's right there. And this is just, I'm just tapping. If I want a hard hit, I do this method because I can follow through. I can follow through completely. This is just, if you notice, it's just kind of tapping it. I don't really zing or swing the bopper really hard. But some guys, they're always in the same position every single time. The same position, just change the angle and the amount of force. And change the abrading. Either more or less. You can change the contour of the edge also if you want. Right? Some guys just pretty consistent every single time. They always have to have exactly everything below center line at exactly the right spots and all that kind of stuff according to how they nap. Me, I just look for opportunities. Sometimes I mess it up. I'm trying to be more accurate, which means I'll probably have to go to a slightly different style. I don't know. Eventually, slowly. I change up my tools every now and then. But I might change up my style too. Oh, that's so sweet. Why is it sweet? Because I like the fact that I can take off very thin flakes, because when it gets to the last stage, which is another skill set, it's nice to know that I can probably get some thin flakes to thin down the thin piece. Because when you thin down a thin piece, you can't remove thick flakes because your thin piece will break. When you're thinning down a thin piece, the flakes have to be super thin, just like that one I just removed. Now, at this stage, I don't need the thin flakes. That came off by luck. I thought it was going to be thicker. But at least I know that it can be done thinly. Yeah, it's supposed to be thicker like that one. Slightly thicker, you might not notice a difference, but subtle differences make all the difference in flint knapping. Yes. You got to get used to subtle differences. Everything is just tweaks. Everything is tweaks in flint knapping. With the occasional hit it like you want to kill it. Yeah, occasionally you'll have to do that. But otherwise, it's just little tweaks here and there. Okay? All right. And there is such a term as killing in flint knapping is when you break it on purpose, ceremonially or whatever. So that is a thing, but that's not what I meant. All right, hit it like you're going to cause a disturbance in the force sometimes. Yeah. See, this is all above center line, but I'm still hitting. Why do I do that? Because it's just short flakes. Yeah. You can hit anywhere you like for short flakes. For short flakes, you can hit any way you like. It'll generate short flakes. You can break all the rules if all you're doing is short flakes. It's the long flakes that require all these specific specialities and skills. Short flakes, no.
But yeah, but wait, I can't even get short flakes. Bro.
Yeah, I know. When you're first starting, you can't get nothing. You can't get nothing. Yeah. Look at that. See, that's what you get when you're brand new. See, you made me do it just thinking about it. It's starting to get more complicated. As it gets thinner, it gets harder to do this. And more complicated. It's kind of ironic because it gets more complicated as you get thinner, but then your range of angles decreases so much that it's just slight differences in the angles and forces make all the difference even worse than before. It's more complicated but more restrictive as it gets thinner. Yeah. All right, so I still need to take off a few big flakes. Yeah. I'm still in that stage where I have not finished the preliminary. Well, let's see. Yeah, I did the bifacing. Now it's the preliminary thinning stage, and then the secondary thinning is the hardest of all the Flintknapping, so I'm in the preliminary thinning stage. I still have some big flakes to go. Oh, not like that. No, do not text me. I gotta put it on airplane mode or something when I'm on live streams. Yes, yes. Maybe that won't even work. I'm just doomed to hear them little texts or other messages, little signals or whatever, tones. I'm being very careful with this because I don't want to lose the width. And I don't want to scoop it out too much. Okay? So I'm going slow. And I'm trying to explain it. And whenever I try to explain it, it messes me up because I have to forget everything I just said and just go by feel. I can't tell you how I'm doing it and then do it like I'm telling you. I've got to tell you how I'm doing it and then forget everything I said so that my brain can take over without thinking. Got it? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but that's not right. That's not right. No one else says that.
I know. Don't worry about it. Not good. Yeah, like that. Okay. Yeah, like that. Is that it? It's not symmetrical. It's all lopsidical. So I'll be doing other videos during the week. I'll be doing instructional videos again and no talk videos. So I'll be doing 3 types of videos: the live streams, no talk videos, and instructional videos. And yeah, I'll do rock challenges too, but I think what I'm going to do is combine the rock challenges with the instructional videos. I don't like doing challenges on live streams. There's too much going on. And I don't like knapping stuff that's really delicate. This isn't too delicate. It's expensive, but it's not that delicate. If it was expensive and delicate, I would not be knapping this on a live stream. Yeah. Even though that's what everyone wants to see. They want to see how not to break it. And I hate to tell you, but it's just not breaking it is just a matter of luck. Yeah. It's a matter of not having bad luck. Success is not only good luck, but it's the absence of bad luck. So if I have success in napping, it's the absence of bad luck. Yeah. So when you ask me how to not break it, well, you have to have the absence of bad luck. That's how you don't break it. Not breaking it means there is an absence of bad luck. That's how you not break it. How do you get rid of bad luck? Well, back in the day, they used to do all kinds of little ceremonies or prayers or whatever before they started. Is that what you want to know? How not to break it? Because that's it. There's not much you can do other than increase your accuracy. And it's not increasing control, because once you hit the side, the flakes are going to do what they want. So you're not controlling the flakes. But you are able to control your accuracy. So that's what you're aiming for. Anything that helps your accuracy is going to help your flint napping. There's a lot of factors involved in increasing the accuracy. Yeah. Little tweaks. Okay? All right. So this stage is over. So the preliminary thinning is over. Now the secondary or final thinning is coming up. And yeah, I'm going to save a bunch of these flakes for later. For other things. What other things you wish you knew? Yeah. You wish you knew, because then you could tell me and I'd be very happy. Yeah.
Bro, I don't want you to be happy. I want you to suffer, because I don't understand. I don't understand this. I don't understand the way you do it. See, you only got 64 viewers, so that tells you no one's getting it. No one got it. No one's understanding it. It's not watchable.
Okay, fine. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Bobby SD's super chat $1.99 for only talking videos. So you're giving me $1.99 so that will go toward paying me for the talking videos, or you don't want any no talk videos. The no talk videos are easier for me because I don't have to worry about explaining. You might pick up some other stuff, and you might see something more watchable with the no talks, because I don't make as many mistakes theoretically. So trying to bribe me into doing you're trying to bribe me to not do no talk videos? Sneaky, sneaky. Let's see, what else we got? I think I missed a couple super chats. Or no? Did it do it? Bobby Estes. It's Aaron Estes. Aaron, did it do it? It's almost doing it. Yeah. This stuff is okay. This amoeba shirt, it's actually pretty good. Hey, Justin Cornelius is here. I talked to a guy at Brady. He says he naps in the shower. Holy moly. Hey, Ross is here. Ross Wellman. Yeah, I'll be using, right? This you sent me this sinew, right, Ross? Because it has your name on it, right? That's you. Thank you very much for this. We're going to use that a little bit later, okay? I've been using it every video. He's the one that sent me that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not. Maybe I'm giving it away, something that I shouldn't give away. Giving away the info. Now everyone's going to be saying, "Hey, Ross, can I have some of that too? Come on." So I hope that doesn't happen. Let's see. Where am I on this? Are you still doing Slab Wednesday? Yes. And Abo Friday? Yes. Always going to be slabs on Wednesday. Always going to be natural tools on Friday. But the other days, I can do whatever I want. Yeah. Hey, Ed Gould is here. Let's see. Marty says I had a bigger one, but it broke. Isn't that always the way? Stuff can be tricky. Let's see. What are we talking about here? Yep. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got here? What else we got? Somebody gave Sal some materials. Jermaine is here. Let's see. What else we got? Pardon me while I interact with the chat like I'm supposed to, okay? Hey, somebody said, Alan, you putting numbers in the chat? Somebody is putting numbers in the chat, right? Alan and Jim? Guys. You're throwing me off because I was about to say, hey, I could delete somebody. This would be cool. No, I can't delete you guys. All right, let's see. I'm headed to Rapid City this weekend, Ed, says Marty. My daughter wants to celebrate her 14th birthday down there. Let's see. Is it still cold up in the northern reaches? Up in the wind-blown plains? Or are you in the mountains? Let me see. I don't see. It's 80 in Tennessee. It was like 59, 58 degrees here in Vermont today. And a little bit cooler tomorrow probably. Well, I don't know. What temperatures to get? I don't remember. I don't know. I've been sleeping so much I can't remember days. I can't get long flakes when I'm using Indirect, says Mr. Jim. That's weird. Are you using a wooden billet? You got to use a heavier billet. If you're not getting long flakes and you're using Indirect, you need a heavier billet or thicker rods. You're just not using something heavy duty enough, or you're abrading too much, or you're using stone that you can't work well. It doesn't work well. Hey, Lance is here. What up? Yeah, back pressure and angle change will help. Yeah. If you can load up the pressure a little bit, but it's dangerous. I don't recommend loading up on pressure because what that means is if you're having trouble getting flakes with indirect percussion, like I'm going to be starting here in a minute, you can, hold the rod behind your leg or whatever setup you got, and you can apply pressure before the strike. Apply pressure and then strike. But if it slips, guess where your biface or your piece is going to go? It's going to go this way. And that's where your mallet is going to strike. So you have to be very careful about pressure ahead of time. A lot of times that does help. But if it slips and you hit the workpiece, you're going to get up and you're going to start booting yourself in the butt. You're going to kick yourself in the butt for hitting the workpiece and breaking it because you applied extra pressure. Because some guys on the internet told you. Yeah. You're going to kick yourself for doing that. How do I know? I don't know. But anyways, changing the angle. I was telling one of these guys that in Tennessee, someone that wanted to learn how to do the indirect percussion. The default position is this. What that means is draw a center line here and then draw a center line there. Okay? In your mind. From the base, middle of the base, the middle of the tip, that's the center line. And then the center line, same thing, middle of the base to the middle of the tip, right through the piece. Perpendicular to the center line this way, and in line with the center line this way. It doesn't matter. This is the default position on striking with indirect percussion. The default position. You don't want to go more than 5 degrees this way, but you can go up to 45 degrees that way. And you're assuming you're hitting downward. Don't be going like this and hitting into the piece this way. That's disaster. That 45, I've seen a lot of guys try that. The 45 there. No. 5 degrees maximum usually right there. Or whatever that is. Maybe it's a 10 degree. But you don't want to do that. Most of the time when I'm napping, I change this angle here, but I don't change this angle. This is like, it's stuck right there, about that much at the most. Usually I'm right there. Straight. Center line, the rod is aligned with it. Okay? Yeah, you need to angle it just a little bit for inward force, but if you look, if you put this up on the edge and you hit downward, that rounded face, it's going to push inward as it goes down. As this travels down, it's going to push inward because it's rounded. Okay, see if I push down, it's resisting because it's rounded. That'll push inward. You don't need to do that to go inward. You can if it's a very difficult piece to nap. But I recommend as a new person staying there and staying perpendicular there. Later on you can adjust this. Tweak it a little bit. But the default is perpendicular to the center line and in line with the center line here. That's the default position for indirect percussion. And then the other part of the default position is you put this up here. You put the flaker tip up on the edge. You don't, it's not butted up against. It's resting on top slightly. Right? At the, you know, at the 45 degree mark on the flaker. Right there. You know what I mean? Let's say, what is that, 10 o'clock on the flaker? If you assume this is rounded, you're going to put the flaker up here on the 10 o'clock, up on the edge. Hit downward. Default position. That's where you start as a new guy. Okay? You'll get a flake. If not, put it up higher. Be highly aggressive until you figure out where it is. You might be 10:45 or you might be down here at 11:30 on the clock. You know, you might be way up here like at 9:30 to get a flake to travel. But you start with that default position. Okay? All right. All right. Is that good? No? You just want to see me do the demonstrations? Too much explanations? I don't know. Sometimes I can get into explaining it to death. And I could see when I was trying to do a lot of explanations at the nap in, I could see some eyes glazing over. Then I know when to stop. But I don't know when to stop on a live stream. That's the only thing. So I'm going to assume you got it. Now when I'm striking, I'm like down here at the 5 degree position, okay? But I can be striking at this position. So when I'm striking, I'm at this position or this position, like the 5 degree position. Somewhere in between. If I'm more drastic than that, that means that the thing is not working. And I really need a lot of inward force. And working, I'm not getting the distance on the flakes. Okay? But this is not all that variable, this downward angle here. This one is extremely variable up here because you're just getting the short flakes. But this one down here, that's where you get into trouble. Okay? All right. Yeah, it doesn't like this. See? Now, how do you overcome that? With many years and many hundreds of pounds of stone. I can't tell you how to overcome those. Because I don't even know how that happens. Everything seems to be okay, but it doesn't work. And I don't know why. I just have to live with it and move on. And fix it later. Yeah. Wouldn't it help, though? Some people might say, wouldn't it help if you knew exactly why it does stuff? Well, yes, it would. But what is it going to require? It's going to require some instrumentation, hundreds of dollars in scientific instrumentation, hundreds of hours of analyzing just one specific type of flake removal at a certain stage of napping. And then once you figure it out, you tell people, well, it's happening because of blah, blah, blah.
Okay, then how do you prevent it?
And then you got to figure out, all right, is it method number 642 to prevent it, or number 386 to prevent it? There's so many different ways to prevent things that it gets mind-boggling. And it all has to do with the degree to which you are particular about the edges, and particular about the tools, and particular about the amount of force. It's all particulars. That's why it's so complicated. And yeah, it gets complicated when you try to eliminate the mistakes. There's not just one way to help eliminate the mistake. There's other things. You can hit in different areas to get pretty much the same result. You can hit at different angles to get pretty much the same result. It doesn't always have to be exactly the same all the time either. It also depends on the stone. The solution for not getting those on obsidian is different from the solution of not getting those on amoeba chert, and on and on and on. It just requires a lot of feel. Yeah, and it's not supposed to be doing that. And to fix that, I have to do some damage control, but to prevent that, I don't know. I don't know how to prevent that. I mean, I suppose I could analyze it. But it'd be mostly hindsight type of stuff. Trying to think. Yeah, you don't always know why. Yeah. A lot of times you're trying to do too much. You take it for granted that some of these earlier strikes are okay, so you thinking, oh well, that earlier strike was okay. Let's try it again. Should do the same again, right? Pretty much everything's the same. Yeah. Still doesn't work in many cases. So Flintknapping a lot of times is accuracy combined with damage control when the accuracy is not that great, even though you're trying to be accurate. I'm trying to be accurate here, but there's little incipients that mess me up sometimes. See that smashing right there? It's a mystery. Why should it be so smashy like that? And that causes, I'm thinking that it caused a loss of energy where the flake didn't have enough power to push all the way through. That's what causes step fracture. Everything becomes more amplified as you're thinning. The mistakes or the miscalculations become amplified as it gets thinner. How am I going to haft this one? That's a good question. I'm supposed to haft these at the end of the video session. Yeah, this one will be interesting. I'll have to find a knife handle. because it's just going to be a blade. I'm not, well, I don't know. Should I make it into, no, I'm not going to make it into a point, because the last time I did it, that pattern analysis point that I had in the auction, I think that took me almost 3 hours on that, just that one point. So this one's just going to be a blade, yeah. Maybe a simple stem that I can make more complicated later. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's what I'll do. Or I'll switch to one of these smaller flakes. You don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. Make a smaller point so I can half the smaller point. Save the blade for later, like I did with the auction blade, so I don't mess it up. It's all crunchy and crackly. It's starting to get crunchy and crackly. Yeah. But it's not too bad. It reminds me a lot of the other one, except this one's a little more crunchy. This is a little more crunchy and smashy on the edges. And this kind of stuff is annoying. See, and it doesn't want to do it. I'm hitting it really, really hard, actually. It's getting me nervous. Yeah, when I'm saying I'm hitting it really hard, it's relative. I wasn't expecting to have to hit it that hard in the tip area. It's getting me nervous because tips are especially difficult for me. I bet you if I hit anywhere else, it's not going to be as hard as what I was doing on the tip. Just my luck. There's inconsistencies in the stone as well. But this is not too bad. It's down here where there's the change in color that it sometimes has weirdness. Yeah, this is okay, but near the tip. As long as I don't try to do flakes that are too long. See, just enough, I just need to go just barely past halfway. That's good enough. If I start going further than that, they start acting up. They want to dive in and stuff, which is pretty typical, but sometimes they don't dive in, so they're kind of like, they tease you. Sometimes they'll dive and sometimes they don't on this material. Yeah, like that. But it broke all up like it's not supposed to. I wouldn't expect it to break up this much. It broke up in weird ways too. Let's see. I don't even know where it goes. But yeah. I can't analyze the flake if it breaks all up. It doesn't let me see what it did. I want to check the chat in a minute. Hold on. I want to get this tip thinned down a little bit more. But don't mess it up. Yeah. I can see that these flakes are a little bit sticky. I noticed it in the beginning, but now they're starting to rear its ugly head when they start getting sticky. You can pick them out, but sometimes they don't pick, and you end up putting metal marks in there. Let's see. Oh, that picked. That did not. Gotta be careful with the metal marks. See that? Something, yeah, it's the fact that I don't want to hit it hard that I'm losing energy, which causes those types of step fractures. Dang it. See, I know what causes those because I've had those so many times, over and over, thousands of times, that, yeah, it's the lack of energy. It's the lack of enthusiasm for shooting those flakes because I usually overshoot. Or I'm thinking that I'm going to overshoot. So I hold back a little bit. And that's what does it. So I got to find that sweet zone where I hold back a little bit, but not too much. Hey, Tommy Anderson, $5 super chat. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Patrick. Nice work. Been seeing your posts and videos. Cheers. Cheers. I'm glad. I'm getting back into it after my trip. Yeah. I was gone from my shop for about a month. Almost exactly, I think. Did I minimize the problems. It's still in there. There's still this weirdness in there. But I tried to minimize the problems I just created. Yeah. I took a chance in hitting it really, really hard, relatively speaking. See, it still wants to be sticky. So that's just the nature of this particular stone. How do you get over that? How do you make the flakes not stick? The flake path has to be almost perfect. It has to be completely convex the whole way. Can't always have it. It can't always be perfectly convex the whole way because you're working with an irregular surface. Yeah. That's just the nature of flint knapping, unless you do the flake over grind type situation where you grind it smooth so there is no weirdness in the surface. So this might look predictable and sometimes it looks easy, but this is the hardest part of all of flint knapping. Some guys say, no, it's not. I say, yes, it is. I'm talking about getting it thin. It's not that hard if you don't get it thin. See, that went just barely halfway, which is good. It's good enough. Yeah. And so it doesn't dive. See, it wanted to dive a little bit toward the end, so you got to watch it. I got to watch it. Hold back just enough to keep it from diving in. But not hold back so much that it causes a step fracture before the middle. Yeah. See, these are breaking all up. I didn't expect that because I got such nice long extensions to these flakes earlier. But now these are so thin, I guess they're breaking up. I don't know what's causing them to break up so much. I would think that they wouldn't break up that much. Why does that matter? Because that signals a chance for this type of thing to happen. The step fracturing for no reason. I should have shot through there, but no. It snapped. In this particular case, it was running that ridge just beautifully, this area through here, but it stopped for no reason. And it has to do with the brittleness, of course, of the stone, but it's not always doing the same thing every time. Sometimes the flakes stay together and sometimes they don't. I don't know. See that? This one stayed together. It didn't break apart. And it had a little nice extension on the end. That broke off, but this didn't shatter into pieces. It's weird. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's the same edge. I mean, this one shattered, but this one didn't. And they're almost identical flakes. See that big flake there is almost identical to this. And the material is right there side by side. I mean, it's the same thing, but this flake broke up into pieces and this one didn't. So it's unpredictable. Got it? No? Yeah, unpredictable doesn't help at all. It needs to be predictable for me to say anything consistent. How did that one do? That one did pretty good, actually. But I think that one was luck. Yeah. Good luck on that one. Yeah, we'll get to that mess in a little while. There's some mess in there, but it has to do with that lighter color. It's not consistent right there. Same with this area. This area is going to be kind of crunchy down here, I have a feeling. Yeah. But who knows? It might nap beautifully. Who knows? You might say, well, it's not napping beautifully all the time because the edge preparation is not beautiful all the time. Well, I'm trying my best to make sure the edge preparation is just right. My best, yeah. I don't want to be slacking off on this stuff. This stuff is expensive. Yeah. I'm trying my best. Make sure that the conditions, the initial conditions are just right. Yeah, that flick broke all up, but it's okay. It did what I was hoping. Went across there. A little bit further than I thought, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it because it kind of clears up that nasty spot. Yeah. There it is. It's starting to look like something. Yeah. I think we've done I think we're almost done with the hardest part of all of Flintknapping. There's not much more to go on the thinning. But the next few flakes are very difficult. Yeah. There's not much room for error, and there's not much room as far as thickness goes. I need to thin down the base too. Yeah. If you thin from the sides, it's not that dangerous. If I were to try to send flakes in directly from the bottom up, that's very dangerous. But if I just hit from the side or obliquely, it's not so bad. Hit that way. Get some oblique flakes. Yes. That one, I hit this way, but it goes up that way. Don't ask me how it does it. I don't know why it goes this way when I hit this way, but it does. Somehow, magically, it does it. See, that one is just straight away. I mean, straight forward. That one went up, probably because of it followed the ridge or something. I don't know. Or maybe I don't know what I'm doing exactly. Maybe I think I'm hitting that way and I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, like that. Where did this go? It has that nice flake extension on it. That's what I'm expecting them all to do, basically, but not all of them do that. You know, not all of them have those little delicate terminations that are so nice. Instead of trying to dive, it should just do a little extension and be nice and behaved. But it doesn't always do it. I got worried about that one. It sounded like it didn't do anything. If it doesn't do anything, it usually creates something, which means that it's invisible. What it did was invisible, which means it's an incipient crack in most cases. If you hit and nothing happens, seemingly nothing happens, but many times it'll create an incipient crack. That'll mess you up later. Isn't that a nice thought? Oh, yes. It's very nice. Yeah, that's good. I feel a bit relieved, but it didn't take care of the step fracture. It missed it by a little bit. So when it fans out, sometimes it'll take off those step fractures like that. It's okay. It's okay. All is not lost. There's still opportunities to clean this up. It just gets harder and harder. That's all. Opportunities are still there. It just gets harder. That's all. Okay. Is that base thinned down enough? No. It's not symmetrical. It's starting to get symmetrical. This side looks a little bit smoother than this side, so I think I'm mostly done with this side. Gotta focus on this side. So move the edge more that way. As it gets thinner, it doesn't take much to move the edge. To move the edge enough to send flakes across the other side. You just have to be careful it doesn't get too flat. This one seems to respond well to flat. Maybe half the time. See these flakes across the middle? They're pretty flat. So I might be able to run more flakes through this area without too much difficulty, without taking off too much of the edge. Because I gotta strengthen the edge and move it that way. Move it that way to flatten that out on this side. Or at least run a couple bold flakes through there because it looks too flakery. There's too many flake scars in that area that I don't like. Makes it look all chattery when there's too many flake scars, I think. Besides, it does need to be thinned anyway. If it's already really, really thin and it's very chattery, you just got to live with it. Yeah. There's no way you're going to fix it when it's already too thin. You can try, but then you'll break it. Which is not a bad thing because you get used to what the stone limits are. But people don't want to know what the limits are. They want a successful flint knapping session. You can't really have a successful session unless you know the limits. At least to some degree, right? Okay, that was good. Yeah. I was just talking about this area. What am I doing down here? Well, there's a lot of mass at the bottom here. If I start really hitting this hard, excess mass down here can cause it to snap across the middle. I still see I have opportunities I can thin. Yeah, that's good. It's so nice when it cooperates like that. See the oblique or the crosswise thinning, instead of thinning from this direction, you can thin from this direction. Much safer when you do it this way. Why don't I always do it? If it's safer, why don't I always do it? Always and forever. It's more tricky because you can overshoot. You can't overshoot very easily this way, but you can overshoot easily that way. So it's more tricky. That's why. That's why I don't always do it. Even though it's safer by not breaking the whole thing, you could overshoot it and reduce the width. It won't break in half, but the overshots I think are quite annoying. So there's a little bit of a risk there of doing something very annoying, but at least it's not as bad as breaking the whole thing in half. Yeah, like that. See? That's a safer angle because it takes much longer to overshoot. You got to shoot it much farther in order for it to overshoot. It's risky to do down low like that. I got lucky that it didn't. All right, all right. Yes, yes. No. No, I don't know. Let's see. It feels good not to look at the clock, but I just looked at it. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. Dang. It's starting to slow down quite a bit, huh? Yeah, I cannot go very fast at this stage. I used to try to go fast at this stage back in the old days, but I can't do it. Not anymore. Nope, nope. I've slowed down a lot to try to be more consistent. And try to do more challenging types of thinnings and work with materials that are kind of snap and half-ish. This is snap and half-ish in a way. It's not as bad as other materials, but it can be a tease where you think it's strong, but it's not. So I had to be careful. It's slow down, yeah. And look at the edges and everything much more carefully. Oh, yeah. The danger is right here on the edge, not this actually. That's not too difficult. The accuracy is not difficult to achieve for this kind of flake. It's just the unpredictability of what's going to happen with that edge when I strike it extremely hard. Sometimes it can cause it to crack, right? And it has to do with the contours of everything. This has to be smooth. This has to be smooth. The smoother these things are, the less chance of cracking. Not always, but it's a good indicator that you're going to reduce the chance of cracking the smoother these two things are. Yeah, like that. That focus is driving me nuts. Just when I want to look at it, it does that. See? I want to look at the edge, but it does that. All right, so what else? What else is some of the hardest stuff in Flintknapping to do? I got one down here. I got a flake. Well, I don't know. I might not do that flake because I might want to keep it thick right there. Yeah, let's just pretend I want to keep it thick right there. Yeah. Some of the artifacts, like peternalis points, they're thickest right there where the stem meets the blade. It's the thickest. So this is a good spot if I wanted to make another peternalis out of this. Dang it. Took a little bit too much. A little chip there. Those little chips can make all the difference when you're trying to follow a ridge or something. And luckily it's not right on the ridge that I was going to try to get, but it's annoying little chips. It's the annoying little chips that'll get you. It'll make this surface less smooth. Just enough to mess you up. And the rock won't tell you. The rock will just be sneaky and not say nothing. Yeah. Oh, that scooped it a little bit. That scooped it a little too much. Dang it. I got too much mass now here. That's not good. I don't like it. I just have to live with that little bit of scoop out there. Is it too much scoop out? I took a flake here to thin it, but I might have to live with that little bulge right there. We'll see. Yeah. That's not good. Yeah, see, I needed to hit that extremely hard. It's not good. Anyways, Isn't this a lot of fun? Yeah, so much fun. I don't understand some guys when they say, oh, this was a lot of fun to nap. I guess. I mean, it's fun when it's done. That's what I think is fun. Most of this just dealing with problems. Yeah. Is that what's fun? I don't know. Yeah, I was watching some Flintknapping videos. Yeah. Sitting around doing nothing. I said, let's watch some Flintknapping videos. And I see all these guys saying they had fun doing this, had fun doing that. You mean you had fun dealing with problems? That's fun for you? Dang. That must be nice. That must be awfully nice to be able to just have fun with damage control and little tweaks to avoid mistakes. Getting all nervous about having to increase the amount of force you're using because you're not using enough in some cases. It doesn't make you nervous or anything? Or maybe you like it? Maybe you like the heightened risk as it gets thinner? You like it? Mikey? Hey Mikey, he likes it. I don't know. I don't get it, right? This is just something that, for me, I've got to make sure I manage my emotions and my natural impulses to overcome my resistance to continue. Yeah, it's starting to get on my nerves. I want to stop. In many cases. Heck, I can do something else. I don't need to be doing this. I could be watching animals. I had a skunk at my front door today. The one with the collar. I have a skunk that comes to my house. Female, I found out. And she has a collar. A little blue collar. And she was sitting on her... She was eating the cat food, yeah, but I was able to open the door a little bit. They can't hear when they're crunching on the cat food, so I can open the door and they don't hear anything. So I'm there sitting there watching through the slight opening in the door. And yeah, I thought that the collar was starting to get real tight on that skunk, but apparently not. Skunks don't have very wide necks, apparently. It looks like the collar was kind of tight, but it's not. Anyways, I could be doing that instead of worrying about these problems. Flintknapping. Yes. Instead of worrying about, is it going to break when I do this? One of the hardest hits during this stage. That was a hard hit to blast through that. I think I'd rather be watching the skunk. Yeah. Munching on cat food, totally oblivious to the world. One thing I do admire about the skunks is they have very, very good situational awareness. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I got to be sneaky if I want to open the door and watch one of them, because they'll notice right away, even though they have bad eyesight. Maybe she did notice and didn't care because, you know, she's been around for a couple of years now. Who knows? But it's interesting to try to figure it out. That's interesting. Yeah. This stuff, I can't figure it out. It's got a mind of its own. Yeah. So is that okay? Let me check the chat, because we're done with the hardest part of all of Flintknapping. Now it's just a matter of sharpening and shaping, right? And maybe once in a while take off another thinning flake somewhere. Yeah. It's just a matter of pressure flaking it now, for the most part. Yeah. Ratio? You want a ratio? I want a ratio. What's a ratio? You'll see. 50, let's say, yeah, 50 millimeters. Let's see if we can get less than 10 millimeters. Oh, much less. How many millimeters thick is it? 50 divided by whatever it is. Let's see. I can't see. What is it? 8? What is that? 6 to 1? So 8 times 6 is 48. So if I'm, up here, let's go to 48 up here. Is it still 6? 6 to 1? It's still about 8 millimeters thick. Yeah, it's about a 6 to 1, which is excellent and good and fantastic and great. Anything less than 6 to 1 is starting to get really thin, right? It might be able to go thinner, but why risk it? 6 to 1 is good enough. Yeah, I like it. All right, so let's check the chat and see what we need to do to get this thing hafted. Yes. There's a couple ways to do the hafting on this. I can consider this whole bottom part the stem and just wrap it on a really thick knife handle. Or I can just use only glue. There's 3 ways. Only glue on a knife handle. I could wrap the whole bottom as a stem. I could sharpen this top and make an Aztec type blade where this is the business end and this is the handle. The Aztecs use their blades like this. They just sharpen this end and they put a little point in the tip. Okay? So here's just 4 different ways I could do this. And then, or I could put a stem on it. A simple stem that I can modify later and make it better. And wrap the stem onto the handle. Okay? In Europe, they also did this too with a lot of the blades. This narrow end is the handle itself, and this is the business end up here. Of course, it's a little bit more pointy in most cases. But when you see artifacts like this, people assume that this is the business end, when sometimes it's not. This is the business end. Okay? All right. In case you didn't know.
I already knew that. You just keep telling us stuff that's annoying.
All right. I won't do it. I saw a super chat. Yes or no? See, super chats, I'm supposed to respond to them. Excuse me. What do we got? I'm looking back to see if I missed a super chat. It could be an important question that everyone's been wanting to know. Sam Folks, $2 super chat. No question and no comment. Thank you anyway. Thank you, thank you. What else we got? Tommy Anderson, $5 super chat. Hi Patrick, nice work. Been seeing your posts and videos. Okay, I've read that one, so I didn't miss anything else. All right, let's go out to the end of the chat to see what I missed. Poliolet is here from Poland. Wow. When the client is doing anything else, then just watch the piece after a couple of months of using and sinuous unwrapping. Talking about hafting it, okay. That's not true at all unless you're saying that's all you use it for. Let me see. Mr. Jim wants to buy it already for 75 bucks. Dang. Blunt axes here, he says, looking killer, Patrick. Thank you, thank you. I don't know, should I sell it to Mr. Jim already for 75 bucks? Jim Cooper says, it's still interesting to me that I do this with direct percussion, the same stage, and I would quite easily screw it up if I tried it with indirect. I see. Yeah, I can't do this with direct. Well, I can try to do it with direct percussion, but it takes a lot longer, believe it or not, to prepare the edges when I do direct percussion. Indirect, I can prepare the edges more easily. I don't know why. In Poland, we have beavers. Dang. We got beavers here too, but I can't shoot them. I got to get a license to trap them or something. Mr. Jim says I would have a pet skunk. Yeah, I would like a pet skunk too. Let's see. I think it would be easier to keep a pet skunk than a dog because you can just let the skunk go by itself as long as you don't have it de-scented. I've seen a couple of videos where the owner did not de-scent the skunk and was able to handle it no problem at all. Right? A couple of videos like that. So once they get comfortable, they won't spray, but it's kind of dicey, I guess. Hey, Ralph Snyder's here. Was it a live from today? What does that mean? Yeah, I started with a rock today. Let's see. Blunt Axe, science and religion battle. What are we talking about? Let's see. Bobby Estes or Aaron says, I don't like how Jake always talks about the cost of his arrowheads and how he thinks this one ought to be a little more blah, blah, blah. That kind of gets on my nerves, but I know he's a good guy. Always talks about the cost of his arrowheads. I mean, does he want to charge more? Let's see. Too much caveman talk for my interest, says says Marty. Oh, there's a troll. Where's the troll? Do I need to delete somebody? Entrepreneur's Finest has to call it a night. See you later. See you next time. Let me see. Hey, Turd Ferguson's here. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm just glad I caught the stream. Yeah, I'll be going for a while yet. I'm behind on the chat. Oops. No, come on. Blunt Axe says Jake Anderson live went crazy in the chat earlier. Hey, Aaron says you missed several super chats. Scroll further. Okay. $1.99. Excuse me. Okay, where are the super chats? Dang it. It's not scrolling. Let's see. All right, let's keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and see what I missed. It doesn't go back far enough. Look, it's not doing it. It stops at pay melon pancakes. Yeah, it doesn't go further back than that. What's up? Let me enter this through another method. Maybe I can see the super chats if I go to my other. Look, if I go to this, where is it? If I click on it from this window, maybe I can see it pulls up the chat down here when I do that. Let's see. No, it cuts it off at pay mine pancakes. Still, I can't go further than that. Somebody gave him such a hard time he couldn't nap, says Blunt Axe. Why doesn't it allow me to go back further in the chat? Yeah, it doesn't allow me to go back further in the chat. I don't know what's wrong with it. What's up? Doesn't make no sense. Maybe it cut out and now there was an interruption in the reception, so now it's not going back far enough. Sinew are only for display, says Poliolit. When the client is doing anything else than just watch the piece after a couple of months using it, sinew is unwrapping. Oh yeah. Yeah, Poliolit is right about using a knife or a point with exposed sinew. When it's exposed on a projectile point, you don't have to worry too much about it because it's usually a one-shot or two-shot deal. And then you got to replace or resharpen or fix the point, which means you got to remove the sinew anyway. But with a knife, it's best to use only glue or put glue over the top of the sinew, so it doesn't unravel and doesn't get all messed up. Exposed sinew on a knife is mostly for show, yes. He just ended the stream. Is there a button at the top of the chat? I don't know. I can't go back very far in this. Yeah. If there's a button, let me know that goes further back because I can't see it. It stops right there. The other view, let's see. In the other view, if I go to my videos, all right. So, is there a button? You tell me if there's a button that brings me back further, because it stops right at pancakes. Let me see. And then it flips. If I can flip it so that, where is it? Yeah. Let's see. No, I can't see. Oh, yeah. Gossel button? A goal button, you mean? There's 10 super chats. Is that a preset goal? The goal button just goes to presets. It'd be nice to figure out how to go all the way back, but I can't right now. Let me see. Yeah, either this phone or the phone I'm filming with, it doesn't allow me to go back to see the previous super chats I missed for some reason. I guess what happened is the stream cut out for like a fraction of a second or something, and then when it came back on, I lose the previous chats. I lose access to the previous chats. Yeah, it doesn't keep track of which of the super chats. I'm just supposed to be able to scroll, but it doesn't allow me to scroll, which is unusual because it doesn't always do that. It must be learning how to operate from watching rocks, because rocks are not always predictable. So the live stream's not being predictable. Because I can usually go back all the way a long time into the chat, but this time I can't. So I just live with it. Yeah. Just like in Flintknapping, you just live with it. It's like, oh well. Sorry about that. I don't know what to do. I want to get rid of this little burgery area because there's a crack and a little step fracture. It's going to throw off my symmetry if I keep picking at it. You can just ask your question again without a super chat. If I missed your question, if you put a super chat in there and I missed a super chat question, please ask the question again so I can see it without the super chat. Just ask it in the chat. Excuse me. I still got to get over whatever I caught. I caught something nasty. But it's not, hasn't caused a fever or anything. It's lingering. I have a lingering the travel blahs. You know, the immune system goes down, and you know, I lose a lot of sleep. My immune system goes down, and I pick up something, and it lingers. Could be allergies too. You never know. Anyways, maybe it's because I've been talking for an hour and a half, or almost 2 hours now. Hour and 53 minutes. Pete Anderson's here. The only thing I care about is seeing what the hell you're doing at 720p. It's not happening. Yeah. I guess. Are you watching on TV or your phone? Too many cheat carbs on vacation? Yeah, that too. Too many cheat carbs. If I eat with friends, I always have too many carbs. Yeah. That messes me up too. The brain fog starts to come back. Yes, yes. I forget people's names and stuff. So someone help out, let's see. Who was it? Pete Peterson can't seem to see anything, so I don't know what's up. Let's see. Bob Aaron says, I think you missed a couple of $1.99 and $4.99 and a $5. Some guy had a question on one of them. I know you like to answer them. It's the only reason I told you that you missed them. Yeah, if I missed a question, please ask it again because I can't go back to see it. Whoever asked the question. If I missed your question, please just ask in the chat. Again. I know it's a pain. Ask in the regular chat. But I appreciate the super chats. Somebody talking about elderberries? All right, let's see. Oh, Bobby Estes grows elderberries. It's amazing for your immune system. Yeah, unless you're allergic to berries. I can't eat fruit. I'm allergic to a lot of fruits. I don't know if I'm allergic to elderberries, but you know, I don't want to take a chance, I guess. Let's see. All right, I'm checking the chat from the phone that I'm filming this with. Let's see. Never had that problem. I wonder if it's generally higher humidity in Europe than the American West. So you never had a problem with unraveling sinew on a knife? Yeah, well. That means your weather must be extremely dry or you don't deal with much blood. Let's see. Did I say humidity very high? The dryness is very dry, right? Or you're not dealing with a lot of blood. You're not washing the knives. If you have sinew wrapped knife and you're washing it, the sinew will soften up. Now, unless you have it coated with something, you can coat the sinew with the PVA glue or some kind of waterproof stuff, modern stuff. But if you're not using any modern stuff on the sinew to cover it, and you don't have glue over it, like the asphaltum glue or pitch or something, it's going to absorb water from the washings and from constant use. How do I know? I don't know. Why would you want to wash a knife? Because I'm not all grubby. Let's see. For kidneys, you need beetroot and dandelion root. Oh, forget that. Dandelion makes me feel sick. I had to go on an elimination diet because of so many things that made me feel sick. I figured out that I got to eliminate 99% of all fruits and vegetables because of allergies. One of my daughters had a full allergy panel done. She has to avoid all kinds of fruits and vegetables too. So, I mean, it's got to be genetic, right? So a lot of the home remedies and a lot of these remedies, they don't work on us. Because we're allergic to what supposedly is the remedy. Yeah, I've tried dandelion root and all parts of dandelion, and nope. I think the only thing on dandelion that I can actually eat is the flower itself without feeling sick. If I remember correctly. I've tried all kinds of things. I just stopped eating most fruits and vegetables. Just stopped. Just don't even bother with it anymore. I talked about working with or trying out different types of sourdough bread. Not all of them are created equal, and not all the ones that only have 4 ingredients are created equal either. Some of the starters, for some reason, don't agree with me. The sourdough starters. I had one sourdough recently that messed me up pretty good, but it had all kinds of different grains in it, so that's probably what it was. All right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to stop messing with it and see what I can do for hafting. All right. Let's see how it looks in some of my knife handles. If I think I have some. I want to try to get rid of that little boogery area right there. See, Jim says, I'm having gut problems and I haven't eaten anything solid in what seems like forever, surviving on protein shakes and water. Uh-oh, what's in the protein shake? When you say protein shakes, look at the ingredients. What was it? What was that one ingredient that was terrible for most people? as far as gut issues go. It's it's something that is like an emulsifier that really messes with your gut. It's great as an emulsifier. It'll help blend everything together, but it's not good for you. And I can't remember what the name of it. Somebody's leaving. Marty says, "Dang, I dozed off. Gonna call it a night. Have a good one." Yep. See you later, Marty. Thanks for being here. Yeah. It's always good to see you. We'll see you on the next one. Yeah. Hopefully you won't fall asleep on the next one. Yeah. Let's see. The Primitive Gentleman says, "Patrick, what are your most common staple foods?" Okay, this is my staple food diet right now. All the meats and all the organ meats that I can find. You know, livers. I don't eat kidneys. I can't deal with the smell of kidney, but I eat hearts, livers, and other organ meats. And I also eat beef, pork, chicken, fish. Very little fish, though, because it's so expensive. And eggs, I don't eat very many eggs anymore because something in the eggs messes with me a little bit. So it causes me to be tired, and I drag my butt all day. If I eat eggs all day, or even once a day, I start dragging. It's something in it that makes me fatigued. But the pork doesn't do it. The beef doesn't do it. Chicken doesn't do it. And any kind of game animals. Lately, I've been eating elk and deer, which is fine. So all the meats, right? That's like, let's say, 75% of my diet. And then I eat butter. Okay, salted or unsalted. It seems to be okay. And then if I want vegetables, what I'm eating now is like a little piece of sourdough bread with only 4 ingredients with every meal. Like a quarter slice. Just enough to change the bacteria in the gut. But the sourdough bread has to have only the starter, the wheat, salt, and water. Those are the only ingredients. And the wheat has to be not the super refined kind. It has to be the stone ground wheat or whatever. The less refined, the better. Okay? And then if I want to get into other vegetables, I will eat stuff like cabbage, green beans, coleslaw and green beans, and some of the other vegetables, but no fruits. Vegetables, and they have to be cooked or fermented. The raw stuff, like if I eat coleslaw, it has raw cabbage. I have to only have a little bit, but it still doesn't mess me up. But if I eat a lot of raw vegetables, it messes me up. So it has to be cooked and green usually on the vegetables. Although I have eaten pumpkin and squash, which is for some reason is fine. Yeah, but it has to be cooked. I don't eat anything vegetable raw anymore, unless it's a rare exception. Anyways, it's not fully carnivore, but I had to be very careful about the vegetables and fruits. And I'm avoiding all fruits unless I'm with friends, and then sometimes I'll have whatever. I had some jam the other day. Oh dang, that was good. I had some apple cinnamon jam, something like that. Man. But yeah, no sugar. Sugar is not part of my diet anymore. I used to be Mr. Cookies, Cakes, and Candies. Not anymore. Although I do have a tendency to, if I'm in the store, I'll pick up a Reese's Pieces. Yeah, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. That's my weakness. So I only go to the store once or twice a week at the most. I just keep a lot of meats in the freezer. How do they know I like Reese's Pieces? Why do they always keep it near the counter? I don't know. Anyways, let's see. Aaron says, fermented foods is my favorite. I love homemade sauerkraut and pickled cauliflower. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like pickles, pickled stuff. I don't know if not all pickled stuff is fermented though, so you got to be careful. Some of it's just, you know, dipped in vinegar and just frozen, or not frozen, but refrigerated, so it's not really fermented, it's just pickled. So I can't eat anything that's pickled. It has to be just mild stuff. Let's see. Let's see. I don't have celiac disease, if you're asking me. I don't have it. I just have a bad reaction to most plants. Something in the plants I'm allergic to. And when my daughter had the allergy panel, they call it a panel, right? Because it's a bunch of different things. They test you for a bunch of different allergens. It's funny because the things you're allergic to, you don't expect. And you say, well, if I'm allergic to this, like strawberries, and I should be allergic to other stuff like similar, like, I don't know, other fruits like blueberries and raspberries and stuff, but no. Sometimes it's very specific. And I forget what she had. There's one fruit that she's very allergic to, but it's similar to other ones that she has no problem with them. So, I don't know. One of these days I need to get a full panel on my reactions to these different plants. I had allergy tests when I was little. I had 2 major allergy tests, and I get allergy shots every week. For years. But I forget. They told me what it was. They told me a lot of the stuff back then, but I forget. Ooh, that took a chunk out. I picked out that step fracture, but it dived. At least it didn't step again. But yeah, it dived and left a little divot. Oh well. Yeah, not much I can do about that except minimize it with some flaking around it, but it's probably going to stay in there at least a little bit. Yeah, there's not much room to thin it down much more. Yeah. But we'll see. All right, so what do I got for handles? I mean, I got this one. Oh, this one's coming apart already. Dang it. Can't take you anywhere. Start falling to pieces. Yeah, it's not deep enough. Let's see. Not deep enough either. Let me see. I don't know if I'll have a handle for it. Yeah, these are not. These are for stemmed points anyways. I thought I had one that was bigger, but maybe not. This is one of my latest ones. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I had some that were getting ready to put handles on. I mean, to put notches in. Yeah, that would have been okay. I don't know. Maybe I won't haft it tonight. I don't know what to do. Let's see. I don't have any other handles. But yeah, this is just a simple, if I wanted to haft it like this, just with glue. Yeah. On a handle with a deep notch. I don't have time to do a separate. You know, you saw this one here. It's the same kind of amoeba stuff. I did this on Friday. I did not sell it in the auction yet. I'm going to add some more pieces before I sell this. You know, sell this like together with some other ones. But yeah, it's the same kind of amoeba chart. And you saw me haft this. So I guess you're going to have to go back and look. Right? Right. But this is it so far. The hardest part is done. I just don't like that little divot right there. There's another divot right here. Can't get away from those. So what did it start out at? 7.5 inches? Something like that? It's now 6 1/8. So I lost about 1 inch off of this. As far as the total length. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night. That's it. I'm going to go to sleep. What do we got? Yep. Someone's asking about the auction. You should try to find local honey every year. I can't eat sugar, so I'm not going to have honey. Yeah, I don't know if you're talking to me, but I don't eat honey, so sugar, I don't eat sugar, so honey is out of the question. Let's see. And I can get local honey. That's not a problem. I know a lot of beekeepers in different areas of the country, and it's very easy to get local honey right here. Attorney Bailey says, what are the rules here for buying? Yeah, auction. I sell these in the auction every Monday. Yeah, Mr. Jim's honey is cool. I got a little container. I still haven't tried any, but those little containers that he was giving out, they were cool. Hey, Bobby SD's $1.99. Aaron says, get some rest, brother. Alrighty. What does this usually go for in the auction? Well, the last one was a finished point, like a Pedernales point. That went for 95 or something like that. But something that doesn't have anything, no notching, or no specific shape, this goes for like $60 for something really thin and with the material as rare as it is. $60 maybe. The longer the better though, so I think maybe 45 to be safe for something like this. Sharpened up, $45. Let's see. Also, I can't eat turmeric or turmeric. Makes me feel sick. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, I don't sell anything on the side. I'm selling only during the auction. If there's a mistake in the auction or something like that, I'll make a duplicate and sell that. But I don't normally sell stuff on the side. If I start doing that, I don't have anything for the auction, and also I get overwhelmed because once the word gets out that I'm selling stuff on the side, I get overwhelmed with requests, and I have to say no to everybody. Yeah, antibiotics. If you're on antibiotics for your gut issues, it actually ruins your gut bacteria. I went through that too. See, Jim says, shakes are what I'm tolerating. I didn't start with them till I had issues. They aren't the problem. It's some kind of gastroparesis. I've already been through everything else. Alrighty. See, Bubby Estes, what in the world do you survive on, brother? I told you. 75% of my diet is meat and butter. And then I have some bread once in, little pieces of bread during the day. That sourdough stuff. And I'll take vitamins too. If I'm feeling like I'm not out in the sun very much, I'll take vitamin D. I've heard that I need to take extra magnesium because everything is magnesium deficient. Magnesium. Everything is magnesium deficient. All the meats don't have as much magnesium as they used to back in the day, so I'll take magnesium supplements. I've been taking calcium also with vitamin C. When I start feeling sick, like I'm not right now, I'll take calcium and vitamin C. And vitamin B. I got vitamin B1. I'll take supplements, but my diet is mainly meat, butter, and that sourdough bread, some coffee, and water. That's it. If I'm being good. If I'm not, I'll have a Reese's peanut butter cup once a week. Or two. Aaron says, take one iron pill a day. Gives you lots of energy. I don't know. They never had an effect on me. I know zinc helps. I've taken zinc before. Irons doesn't seem to do anything. In fact, I think men can have too much iron in some cases. Yeah, caribou, open fire roasted woodland caribou tenderloins. Yes. Too much bad bacteria in my gut right now. At least that's what they say. Yeah. That's not good. Zinc and iron together are really good. Yeah. My dad had to go through some of that. Let's see here. All right, I think that's it. Jim says, I lost 50 pounds from whatever it is because I can't eat anything at all. Even water would cause problems. Oh, dang. Blunt Axe, bless you, Patrick and Jim. You guys in my prayers. Cancer was bad, but I can eat anything. I take iron for low blood pressure and burp it up all day. I hate it. Yeah, that would not be good. I would stop doing that. No. Blood pressure. I'm lucky I don't have any issues. No bad issues other than the allergies. Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky. Okay. I'll see you guys later. The next live stream, guess what, is tomorrow night. Every night during the week, I'm going to have a live stream starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Yep. Every night except Saturday and Sunday. All right? Saturday and Sunday is my busiest days, so I can't do the live streams. And I'll do other videos during the week, too. The instructional videos and the no-talk videos. All right? We'll see you guys later. Take care. Good to see everybody. Good night.